be a quick one, just to see the result of what we marked today, and that's the reason why we are having this section. So in today's class, in today's live charting, right, these are the charts we marked as where we'll be expecting this market to go further, right? This is Euro USD. I'm not sure if we really mark. I think this is our H1 marking, right? This is our H1 marking. This was our H1 zone where we are expecting this market to buy from, but this really broke. Do we have a trade? Actually, we should have marked this particular area, but market did not get there, right? I actually did not have a buying trade for, selling trade for this pair. So let's see 5 minutes time frame. Let's say 5 minutes time frame if we really have price in that area, right? I'm not sure we have an entry. We don't have an entry there, so it's okay, right? We don't have an entry there, so for breaking that zone is actually not a problem. We don't have an entry there. Then for USD JPY, right? This is our H4 zone. This is the H4 zone, and this is the H1 zone, right? As you can see, the H1 zone really played out, right? So let's see for the H4. Let's see if we have an entry pattern there. But for the H1, this really played out. As you can see, it really gave us an entry. I'm going to make the flashcard very soon. So this is just to show you the result of our live chatting today, right? So this really played out here, but let's see if we have an entry here. That's going to be M15. In this particular one here, when price hits this particular area, we don't have an entry in this area, so it is good, right? So the next one is Euro USD, AUD USD. Now for this, I'm actually going to mark it as an entry because actually it's this other block, right? But actually it did not get to the zone we marked in the live charting, right? And let's go back to the M15 of this if we really have a breaker there. I'm not sure. Just a minute. So what this was what we marked really, and we should have really marked this particular area as our rejection zone. So that was an error, but we can see how price really responded to that zone and gave us an entry, right? Price really responded to that zone, and this would have given us about a good profit actually, because if our entry is this area and our stop loss is about let's say 6 pips, then we would have gained 1 to 3, which is 18 pips, and 1 to 4, 1 to 5 would be 30 pips. So this would have given us a 1 to 5 risk reward ratio if we would have marked that, but it's still good, right? So at the end of this class, we're going to check the win rate of this. Now we have this was the H4, 1 hour zone, and this is the 4 hour zone that we are looking at. This 4 hour zone that we're looking at, and let's see if we really have an entry there. Market hit this level, right? Actually it broke this area, so that will have given you, for those people that do enter on a setup time frame, you would have gotten your entry from here and you would have been stopped out with this. And this also gave another entry here, broke this level, came back to retest it. So with this you would have your stop loss, let's say 15 pips. So this is already 1 to 2 that this pair has already given to you in here. So the price did not respond to the H1 zone, but it responded to the 4 hour zone as marked today, right? For USD card, we don't have any marking, but for what is it now? Now USD CHF on the M15 chart, I actually use M5 to trade this pair. I use M5 here, and when market this was why I took this trade. Market really hit my only. I don't know how I marked this one. That market did not get to this zone, right? Actually took the first entry at this particular area, right? This particular zone, this is where I took my entry from. My stop loss was actually below this area, about 3 pips, but it came back and hit me out. Then I have another entry at this particular area. Then I have my stop loss about 3 pips also, and this really fulfilled my 1 to 3 risk reward ratio, which is, I mean, 1 to 3 and 1 to 5, which is 15 pips. And as you can see how far this really went, it gave us about 1 to 10. So that is another trade before this market really reversed. And for AUD card, this gave an entry here before the reversal. Let's see on the H1 zone, right? The H1 zone was there. It reversed a little bit. We can consider this zone as, because let's see, we can consider this trade as a loss. Market came back and break this high again. For AUD this was the zone that we marked, the first zone and the second zone. That's the zone that we marked. The first zone was responded to, and the second zone was also responded to. So for AUDJPY, this market did not get to our IP zone. I mean, our rejection zone. This market did not get to our rejection zone, but we can see responding to this. I'm not sure if this will be respected. We're still going to have another analysis to know if we should consider this particular zone. But this was our buying zone as today is concerned. Then for this particular one here that we mark here, this really responded to this zone, right? I actually took out this trade, right? This responded to this zone, and we have it dropped, right? Then for CAD CHF, this was the buying zone that we marked, but it was broken. But let's see, it responded to the 1 hour rejection zone that we marked earlier. It responded to it. As you can see, this was 5 minutes time frame. When market hits this level, we can see the push up that really happened within that zone, taking out all this liquidity, then responding to this zone. This is the 1 hour zone. This is the 1 hour zone. Market came back, rejected at this zone. Then if we are looking for entries, then this would have really actually took us out, really, because you want to enter at our setup time frame IP zone, and which might really be this area. Your stop loss is about 8 pips, and this did not move more than 1 to 1 risk reward ratio before we lost this trade. Now, for CAD JPY, this was the zone that we marked, and this really gave us an entry, right? This really gave us an entry. Can you see that? This was actually a very perfect one, right? Your stop loss about 6 pips. So you are looking for 30 pips, 1 to 5 risk reward ratio. This gave you 30 pips, and this gave us more than 1 to 10 risk reward ratio, as you can see. I just closed all my trade not quite long. I closed everything not quite long. All right, so that's actually a very perfect trade. And Euro AUD, we did not mark any chart there. This particular pair, I actually took an entry from it, right? This was the zone where we marked, but if you check the 1 hour time frame, it actually hit this OB, right? And with this OB, if you go to the lower time frame, I actually spot something here for me to take this trade. So I took this trade also today, right? For Euro card, this was the zone we marked as our rejection zone. We marked this area first, and we marked this area. Do you know, I actually explained something of this pattern to you today, right? And I think Daniel sent something to me concerning that. Probably I'm going to share that. He gave it a name. He said inverse. Well, it's still good. So far, you actually know what you're doing, right? We have market pulling back to this zone. Then we have the drop. Do we have an entry? Let's see. Yes, we do have an entry here. When market hits this level, then we have about 6 pips stop loss. We're looking for 30 pips, 1 to 5, then 60 pips, 1 to 10. So this gave us more than 1 to 10 risk reward ratio on this pair alone. Right. So this was our marking for today. We have Euro CHF. This was not the marking. I told you this this morning that this was just the reflection of other markings that we had. This was the real zone that we are really looking at to sell this pair, and it did not work out. Then we have Euro GBP. Euro GBP, we actually predicted that this is going to be a buy here, but it broke trade. So we're going to see if we actually have a buying opportunity there. But this was the selling zone. Now, you can as well know this was the first zone that we marked, this particular zone. but failed during the Asian section, this particular one. But the second one was marked during our charting for today. And as you can see, so far this block is not taken out. This particular zone is still valid, right? It's not a change of trend, right? It's still valid. So far this particular block that we really chart from or we really refined is not taken out. So this is still valid. And if we go to 5 minutes time frame, so do you have an entry there? Yes, you do have an entry in this particular area. This was the first entry, the inverse pattern. Your entry is this area. Then we have the second perfect one in this area. Your stop loss about 5 pips. They are looking for 30 pips, right? This actually did not give you 30 pips, so you would have taken your 1 to 3 risk reward ratio perfectly in this level, right? So that is that particular trade. Then let's look for the buying trade if we really have a buying trade there. I think yes. Now this market hits this level. Oh, this is not a breaker. This is not a breaker, right? So we can really consider this as an entry. So this market did not give us an entry in this particular area before it broke this zone. So that is safe, right? For Euro GBP, Euro GPY, this was the zone we are really looking at to sell, and this was a buying zone for us. But let's look at the buying zone because that was the zone that was hit. Do you have an entry there? No, we don't have an entry before that zone was broken, right? So at the end of this class, we're going to mark this which one is correct and which one we did right, wrongly. Now, this was our 4-hour zone that we responded to by this, and this was our 1-hour zone, and we can really see a great entry. I mean, that this zone really played out here. As you can see, this really played out here. On the 5 minutes time frame, we can search for entries. Do we have an entry there? I think we do. We do have an entry here. Then this really played out here. Then we have Euro GBP. For Euro GBP, we marked this area as our buying zone, right? And this area was as our selling zone. But market did not get to this zone, but it has already given us another pattern here. So this particular zone will now become our watch for now, and this particular one before we look for a sell entry. So this particular buying zone here, just like what I said this pair has already given us a bearish move. So buying here is very risky. It's just better for you to just wait for you to get to that zone for you to sell. But if you want to take a sell to buy, I mean a buy to sell, so that this particular zone can really work as that. But I will not take such because number one is not ELPC and it is not good for you to really trade that. Now, this really gave an entry, yeah. Probably this area, we have a stop loss, 15 pips. Do we have 1 to 3? Yes, it actually gave you 1 to 3 risk reward ratio before the falling. So it's still good. If you take that smartly, you should be able to get something. Then for GBP card, we do not have any markings. GBP CHF, right? This was the 4-hour zone that we marked. This was the 4-hour zone that we marked, but this trade was a loss because I think Carol took this trade 2 times and I'm not sure. I think it was 2 times and it was a loss. So the first one, to me, after hitting my level, this was actually my own level. I actually did not have a trade on this, but I'm speaking because of the chart you guys actually saying. I saw it on the signal page. So this is not a breaker. This particular zone break this level. So I would not have really taken this trade. This was our H4 level, right? I would not have taken this trade. This market did go to this zone, right, and gave you something like a pattern, but it's not a pattern to me before it broke this zone. So you should have looked away from such a trade. Now, for GBP JPY, right, this was the 4-hour zone that we marked, right? These are the switch trades that really happened for today. Now, if you calculate the risk-reward ratio and number of trades that we lost, you will see that you would have made so much profit for today. We are still going to count how many trades that we lost and how many trades was won. Now, you see how this really played out, this total liquidity. Then I think it was Daniel that called this trade. I missed this trade at the beginning of this, but when this market really retraced to this area, my pending order was here and actually took me in. My stop loss was about this particular zone, but I have 10 pips stop loss. And you can see how this really gave me a very good one. This is about 1 to 10, right? But I actually went for a 1 to 5 risk reward ratio. That's 50 pips. And I closed the remaining at this particular area, my remaining position at this particular area, because for now I'm just day trading, then I'm closing my position after the end of the day, probably before Asian section. Now this is the 8-4 zone that we've marked. This particular zone is the 8-4 zone that we've marked. So we're expecting market to really respond to this. So we're still going to do some other charting to see if that will really play out. Now for GBP NZD, right, this was the zone we marked, but market did not get there. And for NZD, NZD card, this was a zone, 4-hour zone that we marked, but price is yet to get to this 4-hour zone. Now for NZD CHF, this was a 1-hour zone that we marked. This was the 1-hour zone that we marked. Market came there and actually pierced this high. So you can as well get an entry. There. Market pierced this area, but gave us a pattern at that particular break. Actually, you don't have an entry here. So if you consider this area, this will have really given you an entry here. Then about 3 pips stop loss. Then with your extra 3 pips stop loss would have given you 1 to 5 risk reward ratio, which is 15 pips. So this would have really covered up for whatsoever things and all. Now NZD USD also is a very good trade. This was a zone that we marked. This is 1-hour zone. Then you can see this also played out. Now NZD JPY also played out nicely. Right, this played out nicely. Or is it market? This zone is not loading, but this really played out nicely. Market hit this level. I don't know why it's not loading. Then our gold zone, right? This was where we are looking at to really sell gold, but gold did not get there. Then USD ZAR, right? This was where we are looking to buy this pair. As you can see, look at how market responded to that zone. Can you see how market responded to that zone? So this is the magic of refined OB. Number one, it will really help you to pinpoint the exact zone that the market will reverse from, and you will actually be very, very accurate in what you are really doing. So that is why I suggest to you guys, in your trading plan, right? In your trading plan you want to send to me, you will do well to actually have that ROB, right? When you have ROB, that's the refined OB. When you have that, it will really be nice for you, and this will really work out for you. Now let's look at USD. Let's see if we really have an entry. Can you see? Many people would have really wondered that why do we have this zone as our 1-hour zone, right? This is actually the magic of this thing, and it will really be very good for you. Now, do you have an entry here? Yes, we do have an entry. This took out liquidity. This should have really been the first entry, but this gave us another opportunity. This took out liquidity, break this market structure. The market came back to retest the source, right? So that's our entry right there. Then we have about 20 pips stop loss. 20 pips stop loss, you're looking for 60 pips as 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. You're looking for 100 pips as 1 to 5 risk reward ratio. Then you can now be looking for 200 pips as 1 to 10. Right? But this really fulfilled our target, which is actually a very amazing one, as you can see. So with this, I'm not sure you guys can go broke. As you can see, we had, let's count this. How many losses do we have? This did not play out. Actually, this gave us an entry. That's 1. This is 2, right? Then this is 3, right? As win. Number 4, right? This is 4. That's 4 wins with at least 1 to 5 risk reward ratio. And this is a loss. That is 4 to 1, right? And this also was a win actually. And this is a 5 to 1. This did not play out. 5 to 1, 6 to 1, right? 6 to 1. This also did not play out. And I'm not sure. Do we have an entry here? Let's see. That zone. Right, we do. So that's 6 to 2. We have 6 wins and 2 losses, right? CAD JPY, that's 7 to 2. Euro AUD, CHF JPY, and just like what I said, this actually gave an entry. And then, well, let me just leave that because it's not get our son. So that's 7 to 2. That's where we are. Then this 8 to 2, right? This 8 to 2. For this one, we had an entry here, but we don't have an entry for this buy. So this is actually, this would have really taken you out for the first instance, and but I will count that as 8 to 2. But the first one would have been covered up for the with your stop loss, and this also did not play out. 8 to 2. This is 9 to 2, 9 to 2. Then this did not get to our selling zone. Um, Also, this also did not play out, in my own opinion, just like what we marked here, did not play out. So 9 to 2, I say 9 to 2. Then this played out. This is 10 to 2, right? And this did not. This also did not. NZDCHF, this did, right? That's 11 to 2. This is 11 to, that's 12 to 2. This is 13 to 2, right? Can you see this 13 to 2? Then for this one, this is 14 to 2. So with this, we mark 16 pairs or more. All right, so we have 14 trades that really played out. Let's even assuming that in first instance that you took the entry, you had a loss, right? In the second instance, every wins that you're going to have based on these particular markings that we did, we have 14 to 2, right? That shows 14 trades played out for today and 2 did not play out, right? So in this 14, right, we still have some other one that you would have taken, probably because of your stop loss, it would have been taken out. But at the end of the game, right, you will still be profitable. Let's even assuming that you are going for 1 to 3, which is our minimum. 1 to 3 will be about 14 times 3, which will really give you what now? Sorry, I don't calculate that on my head. That should give you about 42%. 42% actually, we are risking 1% of your account. They are not risking up to that. It's fine. Not now talk about you going for 1 to 5, which will give you 70%, and going for 1 to 10, which will give you 140% on just a day. Now, I know many of you probably you don't know how I actually catch all my own positions at the same time, but you can as well do better with just few pips. I mean, few pairs I ask you guys to focus on. Right, this will continue. Right, probably tomorrow we are going to have another markings, and if I'm not chanced, probably I will announce to you the other time that we're going to have that. But this is really amazing for us to really get a precise zone that this market will really reverse from. Right. All right, guys. So this is what I really want to share with you. I have just 4 of you here. So you can go through your chart, submit your reports to me, please, and your trading plan. Make sure you also submit that to me. Let me go through it and mark you then before we continue to go further. All right. Thank you very much. So I will see you in our section. Probably we're going to have a back testing section tomorrow again, and I will announce the time to you and how the proceedings will really go to. Thank you very much, guys. I will see you in the next section.